Hello, everybody, and welcome along to One Hub Racing Season 27. This is the third episode of the pre-race talk show, and we're going to be previewing Zandvoort, just like the real-life drivers. It's not going to be that long to wait, I promise. My name is Jess Ball, and joining me once again is head steward Colin R. Mason. Colin, how are you doing?
Evening. Listen to me. Good afternoon, Jess. Good afternoon, all. So this is making me really hyped, not only for One Hub tonight, but obviously, like you said, Jess, we've got the real Netherlands Grand Prix starting in 2 hours as well.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. We never know what the weather is going to be. It's just going to be crazy. But we know that it's mainly going to be dry for the real-life race. Will it be dry for the entirety of our race? Well, that will be the last thing that we cover. We're briefly going to touch who we think is going to do well tonight around Zandvoort, as well as speak about a few rivalries. And we also got two drivers to interview. They're very keen to be interviewed, but it won't be long before we interview those two people. So before we head to the main talking action that we're going to be talking about, we got a hot lap driven by Axelot as he takes you through around the Zandvoort circuit. Welcome to one of the most tightest and technical tracks on the calendar. It is Zandvoort, sponsored by Sim Racing Setups. You'll be braking hard into the 100-meter board in Tarzan. Make sure you aim for the right-hand apex to leave you less vulnerable. The inside line on the backing as you enter turn 3. You can take multiple lines through here, and it makes the action very, very exciting. Patience on the throttle is absolutely key. As you enter turn 4 and 5, it's one of the most fastest and scariest corners. Position on the entry absolutely matters through here, and you'll be downshifting 6th gear, but some people could take it at 7th if you're very confident. Aim for both right-hand apexes as you enter the next set of turns, but don't clip the curbs too much as you enter turn 10, because otherwise you could send your car into a spin. DRS wide open through here. Again, we've seen quite a few overtakes through here. Heading towards turn 11 and 12. Stay patient and set up the car for a clean blast onto the bank. Final corner. You're now going to be up in the gears once again and short shift to 5th gear on the right hand side as you enter turn 13 and 14. And hope you enjoy this lap, and that is our lap guide around the Zandvoort circuit. So that is what you could expect around Zandvoort tonight, and hopefully that's given you a few tips. And of course, that was sponsored by Sim Racing Setups, and they're offering the Zandvoort setup for free. So if you want to have a setup for tonight and you haven't got one yet, make sure you join their Discord server, and you could get their setup completely free, and you can give it a go yourself. I had a go at it quite recently, and it is very, very good. So make sure you give it a go there. So I've learned quite a few tips after watching that as well. So let's talk about which drivers impressed very briefly last time up. So we had a bit of a break week, didn't we? And in both the P3 and the P2 tier, the driver that has won the first race won the second race as well. So Jacob and Papa Squanch, they're the ones to watch in that tier at the moment.
Yes, definitely so. Matthias made life a little bit difficult for Jacob towards the end of that race. He was slowly catching him. Jacob was holding it at about 2 seconds, but he certainly didn't have it all his own way. And of course, Mason got his first podium of the season, getting 3rd place just in front of Bergerac as well.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we have to talk about that start that your dad had. I know we talked about it in the Steward show, but the start that he had was, I think, insane. Probably the best place to start was on not on pole position, but on the similar side to what your dad was as well. We had quite a few jump starts as well, so you can see right now as Jacob covers to the right hand side, John goes around the outside, and they stay side by side for a long period of time. It was great to watch, and Bergerac's hanging in there as well. Matthias had a very good race last time out in Canada as well, so that. But Matthias is also a driver to keep an eye on.
Yes, it's going to be very, very interesting because the circuits for Canada and Zandvoort, I don't find a million miles apart. Netherlands, you're going to have a lot more downforce on. So it's going to be interesting to see which drivers can cope with that higher downforce setting. And are we going to see, Jess, some running a bit lower? Because obviously this track's quite difficult to overtake as well.
I won't be surprised if we'll see some people, in particular in the P1 tier. We'll touch the P1 tier in just a moment, Cole, but I think I won't be surprised that we will see quite a few of the P1 tier running lower wings. Maybe some of the top guys in the P2 tier as well. But I think everyone else will probably try and run high downforce because it looks a lot better. So, yeah, I think I'm almost certain that like Matthias will probably try and run a low wing in the P3 tier. I won't be surprised if John does it as well because he likes understeery circuits, doesn't he, Carl?
Yes, he does. It's quite funny. If I ever try Dad's setup, I feel like I haven't got a front wing. So it's really interesting how two different drivers can have completely different setups. I kind of have mine set up almost like a go-kart, where I'm almost steering from the rear. Yeah. Whereas Dad is the complete opposite. And Jess, we're similar on that. Us two have got very similar driving styles with setups. So we can help each other out. But helping Dad's a bit pointless because he doesn't he doesn't like the way my car handles.
Yeah, I think we're more aggressive drivers, aren't we, Carl? So that's probably why as well. But you probably noticed in our lineup, we got some new drivers racing this week, and we do have someone replacing Lethal Force Man, but Lukey didn't have enough time to update the graphics. But we have got
sacked.
Sat Lukey. So we got Shiesty in the Racing Bulls replacing King Vegeta, and I'm trying to find out who's replacing Lethal Force Man. It is, I believe, Lin Falk. So Lin Falk will be replacing Lethal Force Man in the Kick Sauber. He's not on a graphic, but welcome those both to One Hub Racing, and it's good to have some new drivers. Of course, this tier has always struggled for attendance, so we might have more drivers coming into the tier next week, but great to have two new drivers, but a bit of a shame for King Vegeta and Lethal Force Man decided to call it a day.
Yes, it is a shame, but this is where we've been fortunate, where we do have a number of drivers on our waiting list, so that if anyone does go AWOL or does have to leave the league, we can get in one of our drivers from the waiting list, which is great.
Yeah, and it's probably a bit of a pressure for those two drivers because obviously everyone else has raced against each other for like 2 or 3 races now. They're coming to a brand new league. What will be your advice on these two drivers?
Oh, simply, your target should be just to finish. Nothing else. Just get used to it. Understand the drivers you're racing against. Understand the pace. Obviously, we've got slightly different rules to other leagues as well. So for the new drivers, please check out our tutorial videos just to get accustomed with all the rules. So for me, for the first race for the new drivers, just get used to it. Just make sure you finish. Try limit any penalties, corner cutting penalties, and then hopefully you'll get a good result. But this track it's quite difficult to get a 3-second penalty around here.
It is. We've seen in the pre-race interviews that people are finding it easier to get track limit penalties, but majority of the drivers are finding it harder to get penalties anyway. So it's probably going to be a relief for those drivers. It's not going to be as bad as Canada, but we know some of the corners that we could see penalties is potentially the first corner in particular as well. So I'm going to put you on the spot, Carl. Who is your pick for the win tonight in Zandvoort?
Do you know what? I'm going to go Matthias. I think Matthias could have an absolute blinder tonight. Looking back on past races that he's entered in Netherlands, he's always done really well here. It's a track that seems to suit him. So I'm thinking Matthias for the victory tonight.
That is a good shout, actually. Matthias is getting a lot better this season. He's been making really less mistakes, but maybe a majority of the tracks are medium to high downforce anyway, which I think Matthias suits to a T. So, yeah, Matthias is a good shout, actually. I think I'm going to have my money on Matthias as well. But I think Jacob, keep an eye on him. You know, if he has another race win tonight, I'm honestly safe to say that he's definitely going to be the one who's going to take the championship, I think. So that will be at 4:30 UK with yours truly, Colin R. Mason, as your lead commentator tonight. And Quinn will be joining him again because Nick's off go-karting for his birthday treat. And Nick, if you're watching, get a win for me, please. But yeah, Colin and Quinn did a great job last time out, so they're going to do a good job this time out. We're going to get talk about P1 for the time being, so we are going to get someone in P1 to get interviewed in just a moment. So the P1 tier, obviously no changes to the driver lineups. We saw Ben Mills take the win last time out in Canada. Quite a few more instants for these drivers, but I think it's going to be pretty open, I would say, because I haven't seen for the first time who's going to do well in this tier. I don't think many P1 drivers were in our practice lobbies, were they?
No, I think the only ones that I remember seeing, obviously myself, Nick, Axlock was there, and Marco was in there as well. Marco and Axlock look to have tremendous pace, especially Axlock in qualifying. Don't be surprised to see Axlock on pole tonight. I think the win might be a little bit out of reach for him, but I could certainly see Axlock getting a podium.
Axlock, honestly, during the practice session, he was looking very good, but I think there's one thing that the drivers are going to find even difficult, Cole, is the tyre pressures. I said it, Axlock said it. If you go on the hard tyres, the tyre pressures, especially on the front right, it's just so cold and you have to warm them up so much. So it's about adapting your driving style, adapting your setup to make sure that they can handle that. Will we see people doing the two mediums? Will we see people doing the two hards? Or will we see all three tyres used? Will we see someone gamble and go for the soft tyres in this tier? I think we could see a lot of these drivers here go on the soft compounded tyres tonight.
Yes, it's going to be very interesting. And obviously, this track tends to get safety cars because there's not a lot of runoff. You know, there is walls as well that you can easily find yourself buried in. Just our stroll this weekend. So that's going to change the strategy as well. And drivers are going to have to think on the fly and get their strategy right during the safety car periods as well.
I think Axlock said in the chat that he would be surprised if himself gets on pole. You never know. you never know. But I have to say, I think in terms of the weather, Lukey is hoping it's going to rain because he doesn't like the hotter conditions. So he's going to hope it's going to rain or overcast as well. Coley's back this week, so I can't wait to see him, what he could do as well. Of course, Catherine's back. She missed last week. Due to her, I can't remember why I think she was away on holiday or something, but she is back this week, of course. But Callum Unarmed and Ben Mills had a very great battle again in Canada. Do you think we could see the same here?
Oh, definitely. I can see them sharing the same bits of track again, to be honest. Ben obviously had a bit of a nightmare start to the season in Britain, so he is playing a bit of catch-up. So expect to see Ben, quite aggressive to try and take the championship lead again. And of course, the same with Callum, because we know Callum's going to miss a couple of races, so he's going to be desperate to get some victories under his belt as well.
And of course, one driver that you probably won't expect to be leading the championship is J. Cole, because J. Cole is leading the championship mainly due to his consistency. Has done very well the last few races. He got a podium in Silverstone. In Canada, he's done quite well as well. And even in his pre-race interview, which I will get for you right now, actually he was put into the driver's press conference this week. He even said that he was surprised, and he's probably expecting that it would only be this week that he'll be top of the championship. He likes to look at the calendar, he said, and he's not giving up his hopes up with the driver's title with any means. But McLaren are in good stead to win the Constructors, just like in real life, of course. But if you're leading the championship at some point, Cole, that's got to be respected.
Oh, hell, I mean, especially, I'm not surprised that J. Cole's up there. He's an intelligent driver. I don't like criticizing anyone, but there are a lot of drivers out there who are very, very, very quick, but they haven't really got a racing brain. So they make mistakes. They go for maneuvers they probably shouldn't do. Jekyll, he's the whole package. He's quick. He knows when to do maneuvers. He knows when not to. And, you know, it's very rare that you see Jekyll make a mistake, to be honest. And if he does, he did do it in front of me in Canada and scared the living daylights out of me. But no, I'm not surprised that Jekyll's up there at all, to be honest.
Yeah, I think watch out for the McLarens. I think both you and Nick have been looking quite good at Zandvoort as well. You looking to redeem yourself a little bit as well. And one person that Nick had a very nice battle with a couple of weeks ago, is the driver that we're going to have our first interview with right now. It is Robite. So, Robite, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Hello, welcome along to the pre-race show. First of all, how good is it to be back after a break week?
Honestly, it's quite good. Like, I was mostly busy with studies, but I haven't touched the game in like a week. This is the first time I've ever touched it. Like in this month, I think. After those are called Canada.
Yes.
So I'm a bit rusty. So yeah.
Yeah, so you're probably wanting to get back to some racing very, very, very quickly then. So Canada, of course, you've started to improve quite a lot on your racecraft as well. In terms of your where you are in the championship at the moment, do you think that you're happy where you are at the moment, or is there some way that you think you can improve your position in the championship?
It's my first season, so I'm not really expecting much. The most important thing, in my opinion, is to finish the race and get points. So yeah, I'm happy where I am.
Finish the race and get points. That is a really realistic expectation for someone who is new to the league as well. And I really like that. And with, I think we were covering it in the Stewards Room stream, weren't we, Carl? We were seeing that battle with yourself and Nick, and it was sensational, wasn't it, Carl?
Yeah, it was brilliant. Great respect from both drivers. Really good fighting. I expect to see some more of that come 7 o'clock tonight, or 7:30, I should say. So, Rob, so what is going to be your target for this evening? Is that going to be the same again then? Try and get a couple of points on the board again, as in like the same in Canada?
Yeah, mainly yes. But obviously, if I'm able to fight at the top, it's a big plus. So yeah.
And what is Zandvoort like for you in terms of your driving style? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Or you're somewhere in between?
Honestly, it's not one of my favorite tracks, but I think I'm strong at it. But yeah, as I said, it's not one of my favorite tracks. The wings are way too high in my opinion. Yeah.
And who would you say is your going to be your biggest rival tonight, based on the first few races? Who do you think you're going to be battling for position tonight?
I have no idea, honestly. The last two races, I think I was out of position in terms of qualifying. In Silverstone, I messed up with the timings, and Canada, I had a validated lap. So yeah.
Colin, any other questions? Because Sawyer interrupted you.
So yeah, I'm just wondering. So, looking at the calendar, which track coming up do you think you're going to be the strongest at? What circuit do you think you're going to be the best at with the remaining races?
Spa.
Spa.
Yeah, I did a league race there recently, so I really had a lot of fun.
Where did you finish?
I'm looking forward to it. I think P7.
Because
I crashed out in lap 1, and I did quite a good recovery, in my opinion.
Wow! So there you go, folks. Keep an eye on Robite for Belgium. Over to you, Cole, again.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. Spa is obviously a driver's favourite, really, especially because they redid the track a couple of games ago. and made it 10 times better. So that's going to be very interesting. So one last question, Robite. So weather will be released now at the end of the stream. What are you hoping for, dry or wet?
Dry. Like, I despise the wet in this game. It's actually, like, I don't know if it's like the dirty air or something, but I don't like it.
There we are, Jess. No pressure. Make it a dry race for Rob.
Rob, I love you because I wanted a dry race too. So yeah, I'm already a fan of you already. So there we go. Rob, Robite, we'll let you go because I know you're going to be quite busy. I wish you the best of luck tonight, and hopefully we'll see you get another good result, just like you did in Canada.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank
No
you
worries,
for
mate. Best of luck tonight.
Yeah, best of luck, Robite.
Right.
So that was one of our interviews, and now we get to look at the predictions for this tier, Carl. Who do you think is going to win at the P1 tier tonight? And you can say yourself if you want to, Carl.
As much as I think I'm hoping for myself to get top 5. That's going to be my target. But I think looking at his pace from the practice sessions, I'm going to go with Marco for the win tonight.
Oh, Marco's a very good shout, actually. Oh, this is tight. This is really, really tight. I'm going to go with Axelot. I think as long as he gets his hard tyres problem sorted, like I'm going to try and do after this, then he will be good, I think. So yeah, that's my prediction. So no pressure. So of course you can catch us for P1 at 7:30 tonight, and it will be Salo's first time in the commentary box, as Mike can't make it as he's busy tonight celebrating his mum's birthday. So happy birthday to Mike's mum, everybody. So that's why Mike can't make it. But yeah, Salo's going to make his first appearance in the commentary box, and I'm just reading the chat. Honestly, I do owe Axelot money if he doesn't do well tonight. But we talked about P1. Let's talk about the P2 tier. We briefly touched on when we were talking about P3. Papa Squanch, absolutely exceptional this season, Carl.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. I mean, that tier is so competitive. For me, it's the most competitive tier I've ever seen in one hub. There is literally 10 drivers who can win, maybe even more than that. It's going to be a wild season, and it's going to be one of those seasons where the driver with the least mistakes is going to take the title.
Yeah, I think we say that every week, don't we? And I think J. Cole and Jamie are very lucky to have such a very close grid. There's I think there's 3 battles, as it were. We got about 4 or 5 drivers are in the winning battle, as it were. They're class ahead of the rest of the field. But then everybody else is pretty much the best of the rest, fight for the best of the rest. We don't usually get that, which I have to say is insane. But I think in terms of who to watch out for tonight with this tier, based on what I've seen in the practice sessions, I'm going to go with Rich. Rich's qualifying during the practice was sensational. Probably closer to the P1 drivers, I have to say. He's been looking really, really good as Rich in the Williams. Of course, his teammate's been looking good too. But Rich, I would have to say, is one to watch tonight in terms of the P2 tier.
Yes, he's actually my punt for the victory as well. But I think he's going to be fighting his teammate Papa throughout the entirety of the race. I think we're going to have a bit of a Williams fight for the victory. But turn 1 is very, very tricky heading into there with 20 cars hammering it into that first corner. So there are going to be incidents. Can they avoid them? Can they stay out of trouble? And qualifying is going to be super important.
It is. I think out of all the tracks, if you get a good qualifying session, I'm almost certain you're going to have a good race. Of course, if the weather conditions are the same, similar in both the quali and the race, of course. We'll find out a little bit about that later on as well. Of course, Larkin has been close both races. He could be up there with the victory. And Salo, of course, just missed out on the victory again last time out as well. Surely, Cole, this could be the season that Salo could take a race victory. It's just got to happen. He's been looking good all season so far, and he's, I believe, second in the championship.
Yes, he is. It's when, not if.
Yeah.
It will happen. Hopefully the stars will align for him, and hopefully he'll get a victory. Just looking at the chat, Mikey's saying, I'm always the underdog here. To be honest, I cannot consider him an underdog in this tier anymore.
Definitely not. He's quick.
He has had some tremendous results. So let me just quickly get the standings up for P2 on my phone.
And whilst you do
so
that...
he's sitting... Sorry, Jess, he's sitting 4th in the championship. He's had a 5th and a 6th. He's got 19 points. He's 3 points clear of Moogs, his teammate, in 5th place, and only 8 points off Larkin in the top 3. Mikey is no longer an underdog in this tier, really. He is looking very, very strong, and if he can continue that level of consistency, he's going to be fighting for top 3.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I think Mikey is gonna get not just one podium, but I think he's gonna get multiple podiums this season. I mean, just look how far he's come since like the reverse grid races. He's been every race he's been fighting for at least top 4, top 5. Pretty much podiums in some races if he didn't get that in Silverstone, for example. He's been fighting for so many great positions. He's got the strategy right. We always talk about him every race, but I think everybody would like to see once was an underdog or not an underdog do well potentially. So Mikey, fair play to him. Welsh Benjamin, of course. I can't remember if he raced last time out. I think he did. I want to see him redeem himself this week and climb his way up the order. Of course, his teammate is not here tonight. I would like him to see him potentially get a top 5 performance.
Yes, that would be tremendous. So he's sitting 12th in the championship at the moment. He got an 8th in the first race, 13th around Canada.
Due to penalties.
Due to penalties, I know that feeling. But I think he's going to have a really strong race here. I really think he's got a good chance of getting some big points again. You know, maybe even the top 7, which would be a great result for him. Shame that his teammate Mike's not available tonight. But that's another driver that I'm desperate to see get a good result and hopefully a podium for Mike before the end of the season, because he's got really good pace.
A lot of them do. A lot of these drivers do. If I could list people that could get podiums, I could list pretty much like 12, 13 drivers. Probably even more than that, Cole.
Yeah, that's the thing, you know, and especially if there's a little bit of chaos thrown in as well. Then anyone's capable of getting a podium. Like I said a couple of minutes ago, I've never known a tier this competitive and this close. You know, it's you lose a couple of tenths and you could be potentially on the front row, but now you're at the back. It's going to be very quite a stressful qualifying for these drivers, because they're all going to know how important it is, because it's so difficult to overtake around here.
Yeah, and I think J. Cole saying in the chat that Moggs is going to potentially do well. And I have to say, I definitely agree with that. I think Moggs got pole last time out in Canada. He got reinstated due to an unfair game glitch. Luckily, the stewards were able to review the footage and do that. But he did not have a good race, did he? And I was absolutely gutted for him.
Yeah, it was a real shame. It really didn't go his way at all. But he still got the pole, so that's, you know, it shows that he's got the pace. Hopefully he can get a little bit more luck in the race, and he can get some, you know, great results. I mean, he's still 5th in the championship, so he's still doing really, really well. You know, just a couple of points off his teammate in 4th.
Yeah, so he's not that far behind, so anything can happen. And J. Cole's just mentioned someone that he thinks is going to do well, and he is actually waiting in the rating room, about to be interviewed. So we're going to bring him now, and Mark's going to be happy that we brought him in, actually. It is Mokri who's going to be interviewed to tell him his thoughts about the race ahead. So can you hear us?
Yep.
Hey, welcome
Hello.
in. And Colin, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Hello, mate. How are you doing? First of all, congratulations on getting your first podium last week in Canada with only your second race with us. A tremendous drive. Sitting in 6th place, 14 points. Are you going to be targeting another podium tonight?
Well, I don't think so. Zandvoort is not a really good track for me, but we'll see.
But so I'm surely you've got to be happy with your start to the season. Already a podium sitter. So what do you think your target's going to be position-wise in the championship for the season?
Well, I think like top 8 or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's a good target for yourself. Obviously, you know, you're inexperienced, but obviously the help that your brother's been giving you is really showing through. And good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
And I have a few questions to ask as well. Of course, your brother gave you a lot of tips. Who would you say would be your biggest rival tonight in terms of positions? Because I think you could be in a very good shout of getting another great result tonight. Who would you say you think you're gonna battle quite a bit? I'm almost certain you're gonna probably battle the likes of Salu and Larkin tonight. Anybody else?
Well, I have no idea. This tier is very close.
And sorry, carry on.
Yeah.
And of course, we are about to reveal the weather very soon. It won't be very long. And we saw Robot wanting dry. Are you the same, or do you want a sprinkle of rain?
I also want dry right now.
Yeah.
Don't really feel like doing rain right now.
So you're the one who wants dry too. There you go. I think a majority of people looking at the pre-race interview wants dry. I think there's a few people that want wet. I'm trying to think of any more questions. Cole, do you have any more questions?
No, not really. Just best of luck for tonight's race. Obviously, we know how important qualifying is going to be. Have you got your strategy nailed? Are you happy with your strategy? And do you think that you're going to be able to get another podium? I know you said it's not one of your best races, but do you think that you can possibly challenge for a top 3 in the championship if things go your way? And obviously, you're still improving as well.
Well, my strategy I think is good for this race. I don't know about the challenging for the top 3 in the championship. We'll see.
Never know. You never know. Things can happen. We'll let you go because I'm always certain you want to find out the weather soon. So best of luck, and hopefully I will see you out there on track battling you as well, because that will be fun. So best of luck. We'll let you go.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for coming. Oh, it's great to have Mark's brother in the league. It is amazing, isn't it, Carl?
Yeah, it is brilliant, and it's always, you know, he's seems such a grounded lad as well, and he's driving very, very well, especially with somebody with so little experience. To be honest, I think next season he's going to be my punt for the title.
Yeah,
Genuinely think he can put a championship charge on.
Because we've seen many improvements, haven't we, from a lot of drivers in terms of who we think is going to potentially do well. So, yeah, I think we could see him do well pretty much this season and into next season too. So you made your prediction already on who you think is going to do well. Rich, your prediction for the win. Are you sticking with that prediction?
Yes, definitely so. But of course, Jess, we do have some engine and gearbox penalties being applied tonight. So in the P3 tier, we got Jack taking a gearbox penalty, which is 5 places. Riley is taking a gearbox as well. Catherine is taking an engine for Zandvoort, which I'm quite surprised at, to be honest.
That's brave.
Because that is brave. Jason in P3 is taking a gearbox as well. And of course, Jess, yourself is also taking a gearbox penalty for your P2 race. It's going to be very interesting to see if drivers end up regretting that decision or not. Especially because if we've got rain, it's going to be even more tricky to be able to overtake because we're not going to get DRS.
Yes, I think after a few nights ago, I was just like, yeah, I'm taking that gearbox penalty. Because if I did an engine penalty, I would probably regret it even more. But after I'd done some practice this morning and had a few tips from a certain esports driver, I probably kind of regret that decision, but I take my bed and lie on it. And I agree with you, Cole. Engine penalty around Zandvoort, I wouldn't have gone for that, in my opinion, because A, it's 10 places and you're going to find it so hard to gain positions. If, in my opinion, gearbox would have been better, even if it's a track that you're good at, because say you get a good qualifying session, only 5 places off your start position is not too bad.
No, that's right. And we also got, Jess, some grid penalties that we've been issued by the stewards as well. So Richelo in Tier 2's got a 3-place grid penalty. That's for holding Mike up on a hot lap. Salo also gets a 3-place grid penalty for the same, but that was with Richelo. In P1, Curie has a 10-place grid penalty handed out to him, and that was for trying to unlap himself and being a bit of a nuisance under the safety car.
Yeah. And, of course, Catherine's got a grid penalty carried over from race 1, I think, because she didn't serve it last week because she wasn't here. So she's also got...
Yeah, that's right.
She's got her engine plus her 3-place grid penalty. So I think that was one of the reasons why she wanted to do that, because she's like, oh, I got a grid penalty anyway, may as well take the engine. Fair enough. If you've already got one...
Yeah.
Fair enough. And I think despite Salo having a penalty due to him impeding, I still think Salo's going to still do extremely well, because he's only 3 places at the end of the day.
Yeah, and just, I know we briefly touched on this Friday in the stewards thing, but this is one of the reasons why we do lobby restarts, because any other league, and that's a qualifying ban, because it's the only thing that you can do, which, in my opinion, and the fellow stewards, incredibly harsh. So this is one of the reasons why we do a lobby restart, is because we can do little things like the 3-place grid penalty and things like that. So
yes.
It works very well for us.
And I'm intrigued to see how the ones who have been brave and decided to take their engine penalties or gearbox penalties fare, because that's one track out the way. They got to think of one more track to pick, either a gearbox or an engine, depending on which one they chose for this one. So that's one out of the way. They only got to think of one track. Everybody else, they got to look at the entire calendar and think of 2 tracks to pick. You can't do it at the same time. So yeah, you got to think on your feet a little bit. Some people maybe just want to get out of the way. Some people may just want to play it tactically and maybe pick a track that's easy for overtaking or whatever. So please do have a think on what tracks you want to do. Some people may want to do a track that they get on well with, because they can overtake more. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Riley's said in the chat he's decided where he's taking it. I think I won't be surprised if a lot of people take theirs at Backer. I'm already thinking that myself as well for my engine penalty.
Belgium for me, I think.
Oh, you taking Belgium? That's not a bad shout.
I think so. Yeah. So I've done a league race around there before. I feel like I've got good pace there. I feel like I can overtake there. So probably one of them will be taken for me at Belgium.
And Belgium's that's not that far off as well. And we could see people take it at Monza. Pretty much every track coming up you could take. And as long as you take it by round 9 or round 10, your penalties, I think you should be absolutely fine. So make sure you check the images that Rageman posted earlier on in the week and see how far you moved your engine. An engine and a gearbox each lasts up to 320 laps. If you are brand new to the league and you're just joining tonight, that's what you start with, 320 laps. So yeah, and make sure you don't DNF like late on into the race, because that's going to be up to 2 times engine wear, and you do not want that. So yeah, I think we were going to go through driver of the day, but we already briefly touched it in many other streams, and I know a lot of you in the chat want to have some food ready for the real life Zandvoort Grand Prix. It is time for the one thing everybody is waiting for. What is it, Carl?
Oh, I have no idea. I can't even begin to think. Oh, it might be the weather.
It is the weather, indeed. So if you don't know how this works, we have a lot of weather combinations for the qualifying and the race. We will start by spinning the wheel for the quali. That's going to be the combination for the quali. Once that is used for one race, it won't be used again unless it's repeated twice. If we've had more than 4 wet-affected quali sessions, then the only combinations will be available will be dry, but of course we only had 1 for quali, so that's fine. The race will do exactly the same. That'll get shelved off once we've done that. So I'm hoping for dry. I think Colin's over. I think most people are heading for dry, apart from a few other people. Welsh Benjamin's hoping for rain because that gets the wet affected things out of the way. So we got the wheel on your screen. I'm going to get the sound up so you can hear it. So hopefully everybody is ready. Are you ready, Cole?
I'm ready.
Here we go then. Qualifying weather for the Dutch Grand Prix in One Hub Racing is clear to light clouds.
Ooh, very interesting.
So it's going to be a dry qualifying.
Yeah, so there's a dry quali then. So clear to light clouds. So best conditions at the start. So and a bit overcast towards the end. Very interesting.
Yes, I think that's going to be a relief for all the drivers, that it's going to be another dry qualifying session, because I think even me has been trying to practice to see if that works. So, right, we're going to now move on to the race. So let's transition to the race wheel, and we'll see what the weather is going to be. Everyone, I think it's been a majority view from the pre-race interviews that most people want it dry. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to close my eyes for this one. So the weather for the race for the Dutch Grand Prix is clear.
Clear rain. Unlucky, Mike. Mike was desperate.
Well, as in Mike or Mikey? Mike's not even going to be here tonight.
Yeah, that's why he wants to get rid of the rain, so he doesn't.
So there we go. So we got a dry, dry race for the second week in a row, Cole. You probably wanted a bit of rain, but I think I'm looking at the chat now, and people think it's going to be a boring race for Riley thinks, and Axelot saying suck on that rain then.
I love tracks that are more difficult to overtake. I don't find blistering past somebody down a straight in DRS remotely exciting. And this is a track where you have to use, in my opinion, more skill to get the move done. So yeah. I'm very much looking forward to it tonight.
I think everyone is looking forward to that as well. So that was the weather. So luckily, if you've been practicing already in dry conditions, then it's not going to interfere with your practice that much, which is always a good thing. A good thing for me, because I was practicing this morning, because I'm not going to have time to practice before the real life Grand Prix. So before we wrap up, just a quick reminder about a few things before we get going. Going gets tougher war. Please make sure you do your pre-race interviews before 4:30 tonight, because if you don't, you will be eliminated from contention. So please make sure you do your pre-race interview, not only for the Going Gets Tougher award, it helps us commentators as well. So please make sure you do that. That would be amazing. Whilst you're here before the real life race, do it now, if I would say. So these are the requirements on your screen. Do your pre-race interviews. It helped me last week, and it helped you a bit, didn't it, Carl?
Yeah, it really does, because it gives us an idea of what your expectations are, and then we can judge, basically when you cross the line, are you happy or not? So yeah, it's very useful information for all the commentators.
Yeah, so please make sure you do that. Like I said, 4:30 is the deadline. If you don't do it then, you will be eliminated from championship contention. I think there's about half the field that are still in contention for the Going Gets Tough award. So that is great news there. So if you've done all your interviews so far, you're still in the running. Of course, we got the Speedster award, the driver with the most combined poles and fastest laps. I will be looking at the spreadsheet now and telling you basically who is in the running for that, and I'm just trying to see who's done well. So the winner so far by a miraculous margin is Jacob. He's got 2 poles, 1 fastest lap. Everybody else who's in the running for that has just got 1 pole or fastest lap. So Jacob in the lead, and he's at the moment, if it stays like this for the rest of the season, he's going to be the one that gets those gloves. So there we go. So Jacob is in the lead for that one. Colin, any final thoughts before we wrap up? Anything you want to say stewards-wise as well?
No, just be very careful on pit entry. Very easy to get 10 seconds. So on drivers following other drivers into the pit lane, just be wary of where they're braking, so you don't end up clattering into the back of them. And as borrowing a phrase from the late great Murray Walker, you can't win the race on the first corner, but you sure can lose it.
Definitely. So make sure you keep it tidy in lap 1. That'll be absolutely fine. And if Mark recommends you a strategy, don't ignore it. You could either choose that strategy or you could choose not to have it, but just don't ignore it completely because there's a glitch otherwise. So please make sure you remember that. Thank you to all of our sponsors, of course. We've got Next Level Racing providing some great prizes, as well as our partners Sim Racing Setups. You can get 5% off by using the code 1HubRacing at checkout. And there's also some prizes to the winner, the driver of the season, and also the driver of the day from each tier will get themselves vouchers. So please make sure you check them out as well. And like I was saying earlier, you can get the Zandvoort setup for free if you want to have a go, see the setups, take your fancy. Of course, we mentioned about Pure Sim Gear, our partners Vespertine supporting our championship apparel, and also our partners at SimGrid. Without SimGrid, we actually do the standings manually and it'll be an absolute nightmare. So you can catch Cole and Quinn at 4:30 for P3. You can catch J. Cole and Jamie at 6 p.m. for P2. And you can check myself and Salo for P1 tier at 7:30. So for myself and Colin R. Mason, thank you for watching. Enjoy the real life Grand Prix, because I know I'm going to be. And we will see you for the first stream tonight at 4:30. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.